Hello, good evening, and welcome to... Oh, God, I'm after doing something wrong here. Hold on a sec. Don't know what I done there, Shawnee. Sorry, there's all starts playing in my ears there. Hello, good welcome. Hello, welcome. This is the Talkin Kop. We're gonna have to edit this, Shawnee. I've made an absolute bollocks of this. Shawnee's turned off his
All
camera.
right.
It's all fucking going off. Anyway, me and Shawnee being left alone to try and do this show, and we've started amazingly. Anyway, welcome to the Talkin Kop. It's Sunday night. Keith, we don't know where. We've tried a welfare check. Not happening. Emma is in holiday mode. He basically told us to fuck off. So it's me and Shawnee Sunday night. And Shawnee, I'm going to get straight into it because someone's name come up on the internet today. His name is Julio Soler. He plays for, I think, a team called Lanús in Argentina. He's Paraguayan born, and if you look at his Wikipedia, it's already been updated as signing for Liverpool on the 4th of August 2024 for £12.1 million. How do you feel about that, Shawnee?
So he signed tonight and all.
According to his Wikipedia, yeah.
That's class, isn't it?
It's unreal,
Gav, do you know what? Like, I think if you go on to probably other YouTube shows, people pretend that they know who this fella is, but I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even know he existed until an hour ago when I read your message in the group chat. That's just me being brutally honest. I didn't even. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even try look her up and try kind of wing this, but
well, I no, hold on. I'm lying if I said either did I. I looked him up to see what the story is from, right? He's 19 years of age. He plays for a team called Lanús in Argentina. He's Paraguayan born, apparently. He's, what did I say, 19 years of age. He's played about 25 professional games. I think he's played at the Olympics for Argentina. A couple of under 20 games as well. And Transfer Market has his value at £2 million. So we're going to pay 12.1 according to Wikipedia. But, like, in all seriousness, Shawnee, this name's come out of nowhere. It's some Argentinian, I think it was a Twitter account, that has, put this out there. Forget the name for a minute. Is it a bit of a weird one?
Yeah. Like this, going by what you just said there, 17-year-old Argentinian playing by Lanús, playing at the Olympics. Like, this probably the type of signing you'd see Brighton make, and then probably 2 or 3 years down the line, then that pushing them on for big money. Like, I would class left back as a position at the moment that would be deemed more important than needing a 17-year-old lad from Argentina with 25 games under his belt in the door. So yeah, like I don't. I don't look. I can't. I'd like to sit here and even try to give you an educated guess as to what he's like. But honestly, if you stood 25 random fellas up or 5 random fellas up in a room, I wouldn't be able to pick this fella out for you from Adam. I haven't a clue even what he looks like. I know he's probably in the thumbnail, is he? I haven't a clue.
I found a picture of him.
Yeah. So look, so it's not like
Well, I hope
Sheikh
it's him.
fella that. Yeah, so it's not like the Sheikh Jazeen fella was trying to buy United. I mean, everyone was
He's
just
completely made up.
Yeah, it's a fake person.
It was an AI image. It was ridiculous. Someone just went into that AI tool and went, a Sheikh place, and this fella came up and he went, he's buying Manchester United. But what I mean by it is a bit of a weird one is, like, when you look at what we're going through the tour here, you know, Robertson's been out with a slight issue that he had during the Euros. He's been away with the group, but he hasn't played. He's been training and stuff like that. You have Tsimikas, who started all the games at left back. You have Chambers that come on and done some stuff at left back. You've got what's his name that was up in Scotland last year, and he's come back. He's with Dundee. Owen Beck. So there's you know, what I mean is if you're going to say, right, we're going to do something a little bit different at left back, you have got a backup left back there. You have got a couple of young left backs that have some experience, particularly in Owen Beck. This one just feels to me like, wow, like maybe they see him, like you said, as a Brighton type signing. And I hate to say that because people, you know, go, oh fucking hell, why are we signing players that like Brighton might do? But we've banged on for years about Brighton being really good in the market, bringing in players and selling them on, and we wouldn't have to sell them on. We just produce them. We can keep them. We can keep holding them and pay them. But I'd much like. I'm not saying I'm against this type of signing. It's just if it comes to left back and you think there's an issue there, you're probably looking at someone where you go, right, bit more experience than that could come in and back up Robertson if you're going to do something on Tsimikas and, you know, in the transfer market, and look to be a successor. This fella feels like he's down the pecking order to the left backs we have to go and do that job in the future, if you get me. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't fit the right profile.
I actually, like you get obviously, Robertson is not as important to Van Dijk as to Liverpool, but I actually think we're in a situation now where the next left back that we bring in should be the fella who's going to replace Robertson. Like, forget about Tsimikas for a minute. He should be the fella who's going to replace Andy Robertson as to nearly the next centre back that we bring in should be the fella that we see as the successor to Virgil van Dijk, unless you see a player who's already there. So yeah, look, Gav, like I will after the show. I will have a look at him. How concrete is it? Where's it coming from?
Listen, to be honest with you, it came from. To me, it looked like it was on Twitter. I seen it, and it was like an Argentinian account. And the next of all, I seen about 12 accounts going on about him. Now, it could be a case of, oh, there's a name being linked with Liverpool. Let's all fucking jump on it because we're bored over tits when it comes to transfers. It could be that. But some of the quotes you're seeing, I think from this Argentinian account, was like the quotes about the type of player he is and different things and kind of building them up. But that's it, Shawnee. There's nothing else there. Do you know what I mean? But I just thought I'd ask you about it. You're being very honest. Like, you know nothing about him. I've literally looked him up on the transfer market 5 minutes before we come on. But look, we'll have to wait and see. You know what I mean? You know, Paul says lads didn't say in his press that he would look at opportunistic signings also. Yeah, that may be the case. They may look. I'm not saying. I'm not writing off that they might go right. Listen, we're you know we have Robertson, we have Tsimikas, we have Beck and Chambers there. We feel we can turn Beck over for a certain amount of money, and we can bring this guy in, and he'll go into the slot of Beck, and he's much further down the road. I'm not writing that off. It just feels like a bit of a weird one. If you're looking to do something at left back, it feels like it's not a successor to anyone. He's a successor to the successor at that age, but maybe he's bleeding deadly. He could be.
I just can't see like what's the 12 million being touted. I can't.
No, that was the Wikipedia. Someone went on the Wikipedia and changed it. I'll read it because I took a screenshot of it because it made me laugh. Like when I went on to look him up, it was funny. So it just says here. Julio Cesar Soler Barreto, born in February 2005, is an Argentinian professional footballer who plays a left back. It's funny here now, right? Because it says, is an Argentinian professional footballer who plays as a left back for English Premier League club Liverpool, joining the Reds on the 4th of August 2024 for 12.1 million. Born in Paraguay, he's a youth international for Argentina.
You know what it sounds like, Gav? It sounds like this sounds like this smells of this to me, the type of lad that you buy and he never gets a work permit and he goes on a million loans.
Yeah, remember your man? Was it Andre? Was it a fella years ago? And it was like, Alan. This fella is lethal. Alan, yeah. Remember him? Yeah. He's like, this fella is going to be the best ever.
Yeah. Walks to Marks and Spencer's now on Stephen's Green. Like couldn't get a work permit to play football anywhere. Bleeding mad stuff happening. Like this is exactly what this reminds me of. Like the type of young that we sign and he never plays a game. But there's loads of pictures of him in training gear and all, but never plays a game.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's there that long that they start to mix him up with. Is he the player or is he just part of the staff?
Yeah, he's going on mad loans to the bleeding Swiss third league and all, and everyone's talking about how good he is, and he just nothing never happens. Like, we never get them.
Marks and Spencer's on Stephen's Green.
Yeah, like I don't even think there's a Marks and Spencer's in Stephen's Green, but
there is there. He's there anyway with his uniform on, going, "I'm here." Yeah. Whenever he's moving to Stephen's Green, I'm here, lads. I'm ready.
Yeah,
it's just how committed I am.
It's a mad one, honest to God.
Yeah, well, look, we'll wait and see if anything else comes out, but we did have to give it a mention because there was loads of people going rasher over the last couple of hours. But it's been reported widely that Liverpool have rejected a £15 million bid from Southampton for Fabio Carvalho. They tried to sign him in January on loan before he went to Hull. They've come back in now with £15 million. The talk is that Arsenal will come back with a bigger offer. And then the rumour going on is that Liverpool see him as having a really bright future, reluctant to let him go, such and such and such. But where do you on this player, Shawnee? Because he's don't get me wrong, I think he's impressed in pre-season. And there was a bit of the stuff where I want to be a 10 and I want to be this, and then it's kind of gone away, and he's given more interviews since saying, look, I just want to play and I want to, progress and stuff like that. But I'm still in the camp that he gets sold this summer.
Yeah, like I don't get filled by the language coming out of the club about the same as a big talent and this, that. Of course, they're going to say that, look, yeah, you're going to protect your asset at the end of the day, especially when I expect to be a lot of interest in Fabio Carvalho. Didn't really happen for him at Leipzig, but he was excellent when he came back and played in Hull. And the worrying thing for me is what age is Carvalho now? 22?
He's somewhere around there, 20,
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, he's played his best football in the Championship, and he's looked his most comfortable in the Championship. He plays a couple of games for Liverpool when he comes in, and he's not bad. He gets a couple of goals. He gets the late goal against Newcastle, and I think he might kick on here. But yeah, it's hard to kind of gauge. Like Smith Rowe goes for 35 million, and I think that's probably a fair price because I actually think he's a really good player. But it's a tricky one. When there's just so many options for that left side as it stands, and like the potential 10 role, I just don't see there being enough football there for Carvalho where he'd be satisfied. And I think it's a case where if I was him, I'd probably look to go. I know I have to say, like, I actually admire his attitude in the pre-seasons to say, look, no, I am going to turn up and I'm going to look for my place, and like, really, I'm going to have a go and I want to be part of the plans. Like, I think that's an admirable stance to take, because it seemed like to me that for whatever reason Klopp didn't really. I remember when we signed him and we were thinking, like, where's Klopp going to play him, because he doesn't really use a 10 and he's not going to play him off the left, because at the time I think we had Luis Diaz there and there was Gakpo after coming in, and so it's a tricky one. I think if the price is right, he'll definitely be sold, but we've been saying that about players like Nat Phillips for the longest time, and the price never seemed to be right. I'd like to see him move on, but not for a Liverpool point of view. I think Fabio Carvalho is a capable footballer to play in the Premier League, and I think that's where inevitably he will end up. And if it's not for Liverpool, it'll be for someone else. So I think Liverpool's best interest now is to kind of just get as much for them as they can, because there's plenty of clubs looking at him. I heard seeing Ipswich as well while looking at him, Southampton. So there's going to be plenty of interest.
It's for me with him. If he wants to play with it as a 10, that's fine. Like, he's entitled to want to play in certain positions. But in fairness, he's kind of clarified that since and said, look, I want to work, I want to progress, I want to get into this team, I want to become part of the manager's plans. I think both player and manager and club, have kind of ruled out no more loans. He's done Salzburg, he's done Hull, and basically now is the time where he makes the decision on him. With regards to it, like, Gavin Walsh is there. He's a top-tier Championship player in his opinion, but not our standard, Kev O'Sullivan's not in favour of selling him, but a lot of people there are saying, look, you should be looking for 25 million for this player. And in fairness, there's a comparison there in the chat with Emile Smith-Rowe, and somebody says there, like, he's gone to Fulham for 30 million, and he done a bit a couple of seasons ago, and I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think the funny thing is with Emile Smith-Rowe, he was at Arsenal. He's a good season, and I think it's when Grealish goes to Man City, Villa look to bring in Emile Smith-Rowe as his replacement in around the 30 million quid mark, and then he's done nothing since, and he's moving to Fulham for 30 million pounds. So 25 million is not beyond the realms of possibility. When it comes to this tour we've been on, right? He's got 2 goals. 2 good finishes, but I always feel like he's always on the periphery of the game. He doesn't, like, and I don't want to compare him to Salah, because Salah's world class, but even, some younger players, like even take Nioni, who comes on, he just puts his mark on the game. You know what I mean?
Constantly involved.
Yeah, constantly involved, wanting the ball, moving around, being really active part of the team. Whereas Carvalho always seems to be on the fringes. And then I look at the options we have, and and people would say he's got 2 great goals and he's gone into some good positions. Núñez, Gakpo, Luis Diaz, they'll all get them chances as well. They'll all get in them positions, and I'd fancy them more to do more in game, than Carvalho. I think he's been given a real good shot by Klopp or by Slot, but for me, I just think what we have down that left hand side, I just think it's too much for him to overcome. With regards to the quality we have there and the games we're going to play, the big games we're going to play. And I think, don't get me wrong, if he came along and he was a right winger, I'd say, do you know what? He's a fucking chance here, because we literally have Salah down that side, and you can try get him into the team there. But the fact that he wants to play at 10, I don't think he's going to get in. And if they're insisting on throwing him off the left hand side, I just think there's too much there for him to overcome. He's not going to go from Hull on loan last season to getting games ahead of Gakpo, Diaz, Núñez, or even a Jota down that left hand side. He's just not going to. And for his own kind of progression, he's probably looked and went, you know what? I've had a really good pre-season. I've got a couple of goals. There's a couple of teams interested, and maybe those teams that are interested now are, instead of being newly promoted or top of the championship, they might be someone that's a bit steadier in the Premier League that'll go and look for him. And I think that's where it'll end up. I think that's probably, that's probably where it'll probably go from. Paul says, Gav, it's not a fair comparison. Naoni played in the middle, and that's where we mostly play now. In fairness, Naoni's come on and he's gone left hand side in a couple of games. And when you watch him last night, he comes on and he's kind of he's a bit left hand side as well. But he just seems to be involved, whereas Carvalho was a bit on the fringe. I'm not taking away from him. I just think by the end of it, I think Carvalho will move on. That's what I think. But the game itself, Shawnee, I have to say, I was only thinking this last night after the first 45, when they made the sub actually, and I thought to myself, if there's anybody out there that doesn't think that Caoimhín Kelleher is a first team goalkeeper for probably 12, 13, 14 Premier League teams, there's something wrong, because I think he's been outstanding on this tour. And the shot stopping, the confidence on the ball. Now, we had my head wrecked against Arsenal for the first 10, but just on him, the 45, both goalkeepers do really well. But Jesus, every time I'm watching Kelleher now, I'm like, please, for the love of God, hold on to this fella, because he's been absolutely excellent, Johnny. And there's loads of Premier League teams and teams in Europe should be banging down Liverpool's door with this fella as their number one.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's not making more noise to get out, to be honest, Gav. Kelleher's brilliant. Again, I think I gotta say, I think the club actually probably owes it to him to let him do and decide what he wants to do. I think he's earned that by how he stepped in Alisson's absence. And to have a keeper like him around when Alisson is so injury prone is like a gift. You can't put a price on actually how important that is to Liverpool. He was excellent last night, and his passing again, distribution shot. He does pretty much everything. The only fault is that I think last year after running the team, we started to see towards the end of the run in the team, like where his limit is, and that's not a slight on Kelleher. Kelleher's the biggest negative you can point at Kelleher is that he's not Alisson, and I think that's where we kind of suffer a little bit, because Alisson is just the best of the best. So when there's any sort of drop in quality in goal, which there's going to be nearly with, I'd say 99.9% of goalkeepers is sticking in the net at Liverpool, it's noticeable, it is noticeable. So yeah, he's brilliant. And again, I'll give an honourable mention to Yaros. I think Yaros has looked really good as well.
Fantastic when he came on as well. The only thing that annoys me is when he starts doing the line dancing with the ball in his box and he starts fucking...
Yeah, but you just kind of have to get used to that.
Well, I don't have to, Shawnee. Can I not ring someone and ask them to stop doing it? Just don't fucking touch the ball. Just stand there with the ball. He keeps doing this tappy thing, and I'm waiting for him to fucking slip over or something. But they were both excellent. Yaros makes a couple of good saves, and then there's a good header from, it might be Casemiro, and he's just plucks it. It's not a difficult one, but it's one where a lot of keepers might palm down or try to make it look fucking special and mess it up, but he just catches it and he's solid. And his distribution, Yaros, is excellent. It's not something I expect from him. Yeah. He pings balls at people, like he doesn't float them.
I actually watched a bit of Yaros when he played in the League of Ireland, and he was class. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
He came over here and played for Pats, and I think the club actually saw that as a really good move for Pitaluga after Yaros, because he done so well, but it didn't really work out for Pitaluga. But Yaros, excellent as well, and we didn't see any of them in the Euros because you think it was Czech Republic's second choice keeper. Yeah. But yeah, look, honest to God, like, after what I seen last night, it's not a case where I'm thinking to myself, fuck's sake, Alisson's out here, man, it happens to Kelleher, we're bollocks. Like, Yaros looks the part now. Obviously playing pre-season games, playing actual games is different, but yeah, look, I think the goalkeeper department is one part of the team where, like, you can have absolutely no worries. And even the other lad, Harvey Davis, is that his name? Harvey Davis?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, like, even when I watched him play last year, he looks excellent as well. So whatever's going on in the goalkeeper department at Liverpool, it's certainly working.
Yeah. I think you're bang on. Like, Paul says, after seeing Yaros last night, my worries of Kelleher leaving have eased. He looks a great keeper and is really good with his feet and has a ping on him. I really noticed that last night. He was just looked bum, and he was banging them out, and it was definitely a ploy. It wasn't a case. Sometimes it was like, try drag United in and play around them, and then other times it was like, just drag them enough that they leave a gap between midfield and the defenders, and then I'll just ping it in there at Salah or Doak or whoever was on, Harvey Blair and stuff like that. Really, really good. I feel like we're talking about this. Sorry, the fullbacks. Right? They both do fine, absolutely fine. It's not a performance thing I wanted to touch on. But I'll tell you one thing I feel in this team, and I was saying to you earlier, your fullbacks better be able to defend in this side, because I've watched it the last couple of games, and last night again. Salah's doing a bit of his cheating trick again, and that's obviously under instruction. And Carvalho was doing the same. And there was an awful lot of time last night where, the ball went out to, say, Sancho or Rashford, and it was like, Bradley, you go and deal with him. No one's coming back with you. You go and deal with him. So this is a ploy where they are deeper when we have the ball, but they've license to go. They're like nearly like the trigger to go, but they're going to have to defend these fullbacks. They're not going to get, this doubling up all the time and passing players on. They seem to be, you win your battle against that guy, and we go from there. Is that something you noticed, or am I just fucking making that up in my head? Because I just genuinely thought Tsimikas and Bradley were up against Rashford an awful lot, and the other guy, his name's going to he played really well. He played quite well, the lad. He scored against us in the cup, that lad. And he seemed to be one-on-one an awful lot with him. Whereas under Klopp, it'd be an awful lot of, get our wingers back and help. They're cheating a little bit.
Yeah, but you need to realise that look at the 3 goals we get, and look at where the positions that they come from, and that comes from said players, Traore, Diallo, and Rashford being high up the pitch and not being backing in covering. If you look at all 3 goals, like that, it's isolated fullback. So I think it's a little bit of a case of, it's like, pick your poison, and if you want to go man to man with Liverpool, we're fine with that. We're going to limit. Like, what I really noticed is, we conceded a few chances last night, but it's not because United were pressing the life out of us and turning the ball over. A lot of it was got to do with unforced errors on our end, and us turning over possession. But one thing I will say is, after turning over possession, the way we
were scary.
Yeah, but when they turned over possession, it was like boom, 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 slice you open, like, straight away. The players are there. But the way we retracted back into shape after giving the ball away and doing everything we can, so I'm not using the XG bracket, so that, look, we've given up the ball, so let's do everything we can to minimise the goal threat. Keep us to make a few saves, fair enough. But I just think these are things that you're gonna see. Like, we're going to concede goals from the centre half, passing it to their centre forwards. We're going to concede goals from.
It's an absolute model, isn't it?
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
No, it is going to happen.
It's a bit like when Alisson used to play too much, and you go, yeah, we knew that was coming, and then Alisson would just go, right, I'm not doing that anymore. You know, are they going to have to learn from these mistakes, aren't they?
It's going to happen, and when the thing, like, Slot's probably going to be a little bit of a victim of his own kind of success, and when I mean success, I mean the really, really bright start that he's had in the 3 games that we've been able to watch. There's going to be teething periods. There's going to be periods in the games when the players just aren't comfortable being asked to do what they do because it is foreign to them. Like, I've seen people are getting on Canate's back and all. Like, Canate's a great passer at the ball. He hasn't played football in 3 months. He hardly featured back in the last season and didn't play at all in the Euros. He hadn't got many training sessions under his belt before he's played a game against United. It's expected to happen. Like, players are going to be sloppy. Van Dijk is going to come back and it's going to be sloppy. Like, we've looked solid enough. We've looked more, I think, there just seems to be more discipline, more shape in the team. And I just think the better we get, the better personnel we have back, and the more used to playing, we're only going to get better. We're only going to improve on the issues where we have. It's a bit bomb scare, there's no doubt about it, but it's going to be something that's just going to take time getting used to. But at the same time, I feel like we're going to be way more controlled in possession, so it's not going to be a case of helter-skelter football anymore in terms of, like, back and forward. But trust me, if we turn you over high up the pitch or deep in our own half, like, we'll be ready to go the other end. So it's all green shoe to me. I am fully, like, I'm waiting for it to happen. It could happen after 5 minutes against Ipswich. Honestly, God, someone could just turn around, pass straight. Look, it's going to happen. And when it does happen, you're just going to have to accept it, because genuinely, it's part and parcel of a new regime, and it's to be expected. Like, that's all I like.
I think looking at it, and look, I think you're right, but it's not something where you look at it and go, that's terminal. We're fucking desperate at playing around from the back. It's something that just needs to be worked on, and, you know, it'll be worked on, and players get back into a rhythm and stuff like that. I completely get that, and don't get me wrong. I was watching the match last night. I was like, what the fuck is Konate doing, right? But then you're right in what you're saying. He hasn't played in months. You know, he's getting to the pace of the game. He hasn't had many training sessions. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Another thing I want to talk to you about is the midfield, right? Jones got better as the game went on. I thought Gravenberch, some lovely touches in midfield to get him away from United players and use the ball well. I just think Eddie is fast becoming the key to what we're doing here. And off the back, I'm only doing it off the back of these 3 games, but he's fast becoming the key because he's been instructed to find the spaces, and then it's up to them to get it to him. You know what I mean? And walk back when you can. And I think he's been excellent. Some of his decision making in the final third is a bit, you know what? You need to do a little bit better there. But I think it showed again last night, right, that while they all played well, I still think you need someone in there that maybe holds the ball a bit better, and that's probably McAllister, right? But it definitely needs somebody that has that defensive mind on them, because I think we did pass it to United to give them chances, don't get me wrong, but there was a couple of times where they ran off the back of our midfield, and their midfield was like attracted to the ball. And I just think somebody in there, I just think I highlighted it again. There's somebody there that has this bit where you're going, don't get attracted. There's a guy running off the back of you, follow him. And I came out of the game and I thought to myself, a little bit more rhythm, couple of forced touches a little bit better, and a slight bit of decision making better, and we'd have hit them for 10. And I'm not exaggerating. We'd have hit them for 10, right? Because every time we went forward, it was like, it wasn't great defending. It was like, that's the wrong ball, or that's a loose pass and stuff like that. But I don't think Endo suits it. Is McAllister the answer here, Shawnee, or does he go? Again, I'm asking this question. Or does he look for a Szoboszlai, or does he go out and look for a player to come in and go, right, I'm going to put him in there, and then I'm going to use these other 5 lads in these 2 positions, and I'm just going to keep rotating the fuck out.
No, I don't think it's going to. Don't think that's going to get it done, to be honest with you, Gav. I think, I think everyone has reiterated the point that if you're going to be the deep line midfielder in this slot system, that you're going to need to be able to look after the ball. It's paramount, and I actually think Gravenberg done that really well last night. He does look after the ball, but at the same time, you're gonna need somebody who has the idea in his head that, all right, I need to mind the house. Like, I need to watch what's going on behind me here, because like McAllister's gonna go, and Elliott's there, he's going to go, and whoever's around him's going to go. And I think that's going to be the biggest sign of me possibly making this window if we do. We need somebody who's well able to look after the ball and is fully aware of what's potentially going on behind them. I just think that's going to be huge in this system, and it takes massive pressure off your centre backs as well. Because if you're playing centre half and you're getting pressed, if you're anyway apprehensive about giving the ball to the fella that's in front of you, you're going to get punished. Whereas if it's someone like, just say, for example, it's Thiago. I can fire the ball into this fella's knee shin. He's getting it under control and he's going to move it on. I think that's going to be huge. I think it's plain to see now that, like, Endo hasn't been near the start since his catastrophe of a half against.
Yeah, Jono says there he feels that Endo's. He says we will need a new six. He feels that Endo will go. He said Szoboszlai didn't play yesterday because of fatigue, and he still didn't get a start in the game.
Yeah,
now maybe part of that was down to Endo having a bit of fatigue as well. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? Probably both of them have fatigue, and one of them, he'll do 40 or he'll do 30. But look, I'm not telling you you're wrong. It's just, for me, I just look at it and I think, if you're playing someone deep and you want one of those lads in midfield, if you're playing Elliott, right, and I think Elliott is, as I said, fast becoming the key here. If you're playing Elliott, you can then say to yourself, right, I can put Szoboszlai, I can put McAllister, I can put Gravenberch, right, or Jones, or a six, and make those two positions, a new player, and make those two positions, and just rotate them. You know what I mean?
We need to, do you know what?
I think you might see a bit of Szoboszlai back there.
Yeah, but it's not going to get it done.
No. I think you need to bring somebody in, because I think it's hurting the centre halves, because when you run off the back of a midfielder, a centre half is looking to stay within the width of his goalposts, and he's saying, right, if he tracks him and the guy manages to get across in, I'm there. But you're watching Kwanzaa and you're watching Kwanzaa, Vandenberg, these players, Kanate, getting pulled out into these wide areas that they don't want to be in because someone's run off the back of the midfielder. I just think somebody there that just goes, boom, I'm on that. I'm going to track that, and it just makes it so much more difficult. I do think a midfielder becomes more and more clear the more games we watch. That's just where I am. Do you want to talk to me about?
I'd love a player like your man off Napoli that was playing for Slovakia at the Euros, and he really stood out, and he was pure, just basically Lobotka was his name.
Yeah, the little fella.
He's exactly what we need. Someone who's gonna pump himself around in that area of the pitch, and as soon as he gets it, he can just give it. That's one of his strengths, and he stands out. Like, it's amazing how players like that make the game look simple, stand out so much. I just think you'd be taking away from Szoboszlai playing him in there. He definitely has the engine, but again, it's the kind of natural sniffing out of a bit of danger. Like, Lucas done it really well. Like, Lucas Leiva, when he was at the top of his game before that really bad injury, that's exactly what he done. He was just in the right place, right time, got it and give it. Nothing fancy, just get it and give it to the fella beside you. So yeah, I'd love to say, Gav, that like the solution is within the squad, but I don't actually think it is. I definitely think we need to be in the market for someone who can do that.
So can I ask you something then? Because we were talking about Endo last week, and I was of the opinion that he probably doesn't start not an awful lot of games for Liverpool, but he's a good squad option. I'm actually starting to come around a little bit now to probably, if we're going to be this kind of forward thinking in midfield, do we just go and say, right, we're getting rid of Endo and we're bringing in a dedicated six of a much higher quality, And if that player needs a rest, we're going to have to make do with a Szoboszlai in there, a Jones in there, and we're just going to have to adjust.
Well, it doesn't even have to be Szoboszlai or Jones. I think that's where
McAllister is probably the...
Yeah, but I even think Bajcetic and Naoni could play, like, could swap out there. That's the way. Look, if you're going to have these young players around, then you have to have trust in them. There's no point in having them around either way.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, we need an upgrade on Endo 100%. And
I'm kind of coming around to that because, and the reason being is because when I look at the numbers we have, I don't really want to lose any of those other midfielders, but I feel you have to lose one to bring in do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you said to me, Endo's a squad player and we're bringing in a 6, but we're going to probably have to lose a midfielder because there's just so many of them there. I'm kind of coming around to going, do you know what, it might be Endo, and you go with your, 6 that's better on the ball, defensively aware, better on the ball, good range of passing, stuff like that. Yeah. And then you say to yourself, and if something happens and that player can't play, you tell McAllister, you go in and play that. And McAllister plays for Argentina, and he plays with the Paul on one side of him, doesn't he? And Enzo Fernandez, is it Enzo? Yeah, plays there. So you'd see McAllister do that, the sort of way. It's just maybe that's where we have to go with it. But I want to ask you about and he's got rave reviews throughout this tour, and rightly so. And it was interesting for me, straight from kick-off last night. Jarell Quansah stays on that right-hand side of defence last night, and Konate has to go left. And Konate spent his entire Liverpool career on the right-hand side of that defence. And even I think when he's played with Quansah's gone out to the left, right? On a couple of occasions they may have played together. Was that interesting to you? That he says, no, Quansah plays. That's where he's playing. That felt to me a bit of a pointer that this fella is going to start. This fella is a starting centre-back for Liverpool. And I'm absolutely comfortable with it, by the way.
Well, if it's on merit, then there can be absolutely no argument. Like, he's been excellent. Like, people will go back to the error at Old Trafford, but that's happened to more experienced centre-halves with more quality than Jarell Quansah. It's just part of football that can happen, so... Yeah, I think if you're looking at the pecking order, it's definitely him number 1 and him number 2, Van Dijk number 1, and then Konate after that. And I don't think anyone can have any issue with that.
Yeah,
he's just his decision making is just so good for such a young player at that. And
he gets caught once. He gets caught once last night where Rashford turns him well. But in fairness, he's making it back. And I think he just rushes in and he's like, you can see on his face going, I've gone too far here. I can't turn quick enough to get around this fella. But Gary McAllister pointed something out on LFC TV last night. He said, watch the pass from Quansah down the line to Salah. Now, Salah's first touch, and then it's a brilliant pass. He said it would have been easy for him to just hook that back up the pitch. He said, but he doesn't. He plays a lovely ball into Salah, and Salah just burns your man. But right now, he has to be Liverpool's centre-back. Just has to be, Sean.
There's no question.
Because question. No, I don't think there is. I think everything he's done.
And I think in order for him to be replaced, like, it would have to be a seriously high caliber centre-back brought in the market. Like, I think that's kind of like the level it's at. Like, there's not many centre-backs around that are displacing Quansah out of his team at the moment. Not for me, anyway. I know people like shiny new things, but I like things that have looked brilliant since they come in and didn't cost us a whole lot. Put it that way. So, look, Quansah will be an England regular, I think, from going on now.
John feels he'll be their best centre half in the next couple of years.
Yeah, look, and that's high praise, because I think there's some really, really good centre backs coming through in England. Look, Jarrett Brownway is excellent. Let's call it spade a spade. We talked about Guehi the other night.
Yeah,
he's been excellent. I actually think Tomori is excellent.
And I still think John Stones was the best player of the Euros.
So John Stones is a good player, don't get me wrong, but Quansah seems to have the X factor. He's quality. He's really, really good.
Yeah. No, I think just looking at him over this tour and the way he's conducted himself, he's done a couple of interviews, which is nice to see, because he's becoming more confident in doing that, and he's becoming more of a people want to talk to him sort of person, because he's of how he's performed. But I just watch him last night, and you have to remember he's played there beside Van den Berg, he played beside Canati last night, and he just seems to be so aggressive, so front foot, good on the ball. He makes the right decisions. He heads it when he needs to. He clears it when he needs to. He does everything you want him to do, and he's come up against some different kind of challenges in those 3 games, and he's risen to every single one of them. He's absolutely risen to them. Mo Salah looks like he's in the humour, doesn't he?
Like Mo looks like, I don't know whether you've been watching all the insides and all, like, and it's because he is, like, but he looks like a real leader now. He looks like a proper leader, and he looks great with the hair, I have to say. I think it really suits him. I think it's brilliant. I think they've done a great job.
They've done a great job with his hair.
Yeah, he got a transplant, obviously. They're bleeding. The fullbacks look like they were bombing on, but it's gone back to a flat back.
Do you think so? Do you think he got it? Do you think so?
Are you winding me up?
No, I just think he shaved his head because he's going bald on top a little bit.
He fucking 100% got a hair transplant, you man.
Oh, that's news to me now, Shawnee. I wouldn't really keep up with those things.
The fullbacks were bombing on this time last year. Now he's a flat back 4 going across the top of his head.
Does he? Oh, I'll have to look.
Listen, if anyone's earned the right to have a hair transplant, it's Mo Salah.
Yeah.
He looks so sharp, Gavin. Do you know what? Do you know what I love about watching Mo? It's his ability to bring other players into the game as well. He's a world class operator. Like, I was kind of apprehensive about. I was kind of in the mind where I was thinking to myself, he might go now. Like, he might. Like, the more I watch him, like, I'm thinking, like, we have to get this fella a fucking
get him
a contract.
I don't give a bollocks. He's 32, I think now, isn't he? Right.
I don't care about his age. Look, the eye won't fail it.
Just say to him, listen, we give you another year on top of what you have here. Give us 2 more years at the same money, and we'd see where we get. And then at 34, if you want to go off anywhere, off you go. I just think there's definitely 2 years left. Look at the bleeding state he's in. Like, he's the condition he's in. You see him there last night. Now, in fairness, I think that young United left back done really well. Bass, is that his name? Yeah, he was I thought he was really good. I think he actually, he got the better of Salah on a couple of occasions. Salah trying different things. He was strong. He looks a decent fullback. But then when you see what Mo does to him, where the ball comes in from Kwanzaa, he takes the ball down, and then in the second touch, puts the past your man. Like, your man hasn't a clue what's going on. By the time Salah's crossing it, right? Salah's travelled 25 yards with this ball, and by the time he's crossing it for Jones to score, your man's 15 yards behind him.
Yeah.
Like, that's how quick and how incisive he was. And, Jones talks after the game about how Mo loves to score goals and loves to, do this, but he loves getting the assists. He loves setting people up. He's always trying to pick the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And that could have been at Salah a couple of years ago. Was always, this prick just keeps trying to bend her in the top corner. But now you see it where he's looking to his decision making on picking the right pass. I think has got steadily better over the last 2 to 3 seasons, and he just looks in unbelievable condition. And then when you look at the likes of Bradley playing beside him, Elliot being his main fucking supplier now. Elliot going, I'm playing with it, and Elliot loves him. Elliot adores him. And then you look at Jota going, I get bleeding chances off this fella. And Nunez will be back, Gakpo will be back, Diaz will be back, McAllister will be back. And you see this fella turning up in that condition, 32 years of age, and going, I can be better than I was last season. I can do 30 goals this time, no problem. I just think it's brilliant to see from him, because there's a year left, and it'd be easy for him to mope around and go, fucker, I'm out of here. But it doesn't look like he's doing that.
Yeah. Don't get fooled by the 32 years of age. Like, I just think when elite athletes live their life in the correct way, they're able to kind of reverse age in terms of they stay at that peak for longer. Like, he's magic, and I think if we're to have anyway, like a really strong start to the season, it's going to be hugely reliant on Mo, because that's just what he is. He's ever present. Touch wood, he's never injured. Like, there was a bit of shit when he was trying to sign his contract last time, his agent and that. I really hope he stays. I really do. Like, he's so fucking good.
I just think if you're talking about a leadership role, and you're looking at, you want him to leave at the front because it's a new manager. You want him to come along and go, right, listen, I'm behind this manager. I'll go out and give everything for you. That's fine. You'd be more than happy with that. But when I look at the relationship he's forming with Bradley, and we'll have a Trent when he comes back. I'm not saying Bradley's the be all and end all to Mo Salah, but when I look at it, and I'm looking at Elliot and Szoboszlai, they're all still young men. You know what I mean? And then you see Gravenberch, you see John, and he just seems to be. It's not like they're like he's their go-to man. Like, I'll just get it to Mo. Like, if all else fails, get it to Mo. It's not like that. It's more like, this fella is so fucking good that my ideas in my head, he can make those come true. Do you know that sort of way? He has the vision. He still has the pace. He has the vision. He scores goals, and not only that, people are fucking terrified of him. So when Elliot's running through the pitch or running down the pitch, everyone's going, "Where's this Salah cunt?" Because when he gets it, he's going to kill us. And it's freeing up players to show what they're able to do. In particular, Elliot. I think if Elliot could notch it just 1% up in his decision making, him and Salah could have a bleeding whale of a time, week in, week out. But I just think he's being brilliant. Steve pointed out it wasn't that fullback that got done by Salah, it was Collier. Yeah, it was just I was more talking about Salah in the fact that the 2 touches and he was 15 yards clear of a fella over 25 yards. Your man done well the fullback. Just on United though, it's a pre-season game. We're looking at ourselves and we're saying, right, he's trying to do this, he's trying to do that, he's trying to make them play here, he's trying to entice teams onto us. We're talking about Elliot, we're talking about different players. And I don't think I'm going over the top here, but what are they at, Shawnee? Like, I'm watching them and I'm saying to myself, your man Mount doesn't know where he's playing. Your man Casemiro doesn't look interested. Rashford has a decent half. Centre backs just want to kick it back to the goalkeeper. The keeper just wants to kick it long. They don't seem to want the football. And I know they have a couple of players out and they have a couple of players come back, but I've watched them over 2 games. And the only pattern I can see is they don't want the football. They don't want the football in and around your area. They want you to lose it in their area and then see what they can do. Like, am I being over the top on them here? I just think they're appalling. And it might work for them in a certain amount of games, but I just think to progress, I don't see it in them.
Look, I don't want to be overboard in criticism as much as I fucking can't stand them. But they are missing a lot of players, to be fair. But at the same time, a reflection of a good coach is that no matter really what the personnel, you can kind of make out in your head exactly what they're trying to do in terms of how did he build up? What way did he line up our position? What did he do to protect their own goal? What's the best route of attack? Who's the ball going to? This is his 3rd season now, coming into his 3rd season, Ten Hag. They just seem like a good counter-attacking team to me because they have players up top who are rapid and have goals in them. The likes of Rashford, Højlund, Diallo, whoever else they've been playing there. You get a few guys like McTominay being a box crasher has dug them out of a load of holes, but they don't defend as a unit. They don't attack as a unit. They just, like last night to me, it looked like in parts of the game a well coached team, but against a really poorly coached side. And if you had flipped the roles and said, "There's Liverpool and United playing tonight," United battered Liverpool 3-0 and they looked really comfortable in the game, although giving up a few chances, but they were just clinical. Like, that's something you'd think you'd be saying about a coach who's in the job 3 years, whereas in case we're looking at Arne Slot, who's in the job 6 weeks, and there already looks to be more structure and style as to exactly what Liverpool are trying to do. And United look like the ones who are a little bit lost at sea. I think Ten Hag got away with it last year because he won the FA Cup, but that league position was appalling. There was enough injuries in the squad, in fairness to the injury-private season, where you could probably turn around and blame it on that. But even still, there should be at least patterns of play. Like, it's just, and the money they've spent as well, and the money they're going to need to spend to get even further up and in there. Like, I don't know. I think it looks like, look at the way the summer played out for them. How long for them it took them had taken them to make that decision on Ten Hag, for me, he just seems like a fella who's on borrowed time. And that's the God honest truth. I think they are literally waiting for the first opportunity to say, it's no good. Like,
And
he signed an extension when no one proved it. Like, people think that he signed a new contract. He didn't. He just signed an extension that they had in
already
place.
There.
It was already there. They've shown no trust in him. And the fact now he's going to buy Delit and Mazraoui, he's trying to get them another two players who play for him at Ajax. Like, give up the fucking ghost. Like,
yeah, and there's an awful lot of what would worry me if I'm Ten Hag is there seems to be an awful lot of emphasis on real Van Nistelrooy, right? And even when the camera pans, they try to get Van Nistelrooy into the shot with Ten Hag. And I seen something today like, United players are saying that Van Nistelrooy is obsessed with defensive setup and stuff like that. And I was like, will you give it over? Do you know what I mean? Like, they should be obsessed with all parts of the fucking game. But it's like, Van Nistelrooy thinks this and Van Nistelrooy thinks that. Like, let's be honest about it. When United were good, nobody gave a bollocks what Steve McLaren thought. Or nobody gave a bollocks what Brian Kidd thought. Or even the other Portuguese fella who had to go off and get himself a job because he probably wanted to speak up and queer us, right? And, like, your assistant managers should have an input. But, like, you know, if you look at Liverpool and Klopp and you know, Linders and people going, he's too much influence on the team. You know what I mean? Did he? Right? Did he really? Do you know what I mean? And Linders thinks this and Linders thinks that. You'd often hear about Linders, you know, liking this style of play and bringing it to Klopp and stuff like that. But they seem to be already setting this up for Ten Hag gone, Van Nistelrooy's in, and that'll you know, appease the masses because it's Ruud Van Nistelrooy, the best finisher the club's ever seen. It seems a really fucking shallow way out. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, everything good they do is Ineos. And now it's kind of, Ineos have to answer for this. And it's like, yeah, lads, the Glazers ain't sitting there fucking on their hands either. Do you know what I mean? Why are we all Ineos now? And when I watched them last night, I just thought, like, they're playing Jadon Sancho up front. Right? This fella is a winger that used tricks to get by it. And they're playing him up front. Pumping the ball up. But they're pumping the ball up to Jadon Sancho last night. And Jarell Kwanzaa and Kanate are just going, would you ever fuck off? And they're heading it. But when they get the ball, right, they literally hit diagonals at their fullbacks who push up the pitch, right? Your man Wan-Bissaka went run up the pitch last night, first half. Ran up the pitch, got to the halfway line, looked up and went, me bollocks. Turned around and went 10 yards back the other way and passed it back to a centre back. He was actually going away from Carvalho. And to me, I wouldn't mind if United went, they're playing a bit different here and they're trying something different. And they are missing so many players. But they're not trying anything different, Shawnee. No. There's nothing different. It's rinse and repeat and hope to keep throwing players at it, that the players themselves will go, this is what we should be doing. That's not coaching a football team. That's just putting players on a pitch and hoping that they take their own initiative.
And the fact that Sancho's even playing games.
Yeah. Or Wan-Bissaka, who they're widely trying to get rid of, and now got a smack last night.
That fair enough. But look at Sancho and the shite he caused last year and the discourse, and then he went off. Like, no matter what, like, he come in and we forgive him and we squashed it. You just turn around and say to him, I've made my bed with you and you're never playing me United again, no matter what you say. Because if I let you back into this dressing room and start giving you minutes, every one of these other fuckers think we can kind of do whatever they want in time and heal here. Because look, Sancho's fucking back in and look at the murder that he caused last year. That was everyone talked about how well he dealt with the Ronaldo situation and how well he's dealt with the Sancho situation, only for him to be fucking back playing for them in the pre-season game, or we squashed it. Not about protecting his value. Just fucking get rid of him. Take your losses. But one thing you don't do, don't cut your nose off to spite your face when you made your bed with him last year. And I think about all the players coming up here now. He's going to be going, this fella's no substance to him. Like, you know what I mean? Remember Klopp with Sacco? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gone. Good luck. See you later.
Told them on the bus to wherever they were going in America that time.
Yeah. And listen, you're gone. Simple as that. And then all that does then is that everybody else going, look, this fella's just going to go through you for a shortcut at the first opportunity.
Yeah.
Ten Hag hid behind that whole Sancho thing for the whole 3 months. He was still going on about the Arsenal result. He fucked them under the bus. He got called out on it. They were at loggerheads. The club had to let him go. Ended up paying X amount a week to Dortmund or whatever it was to go, only for him to let him back in. He's a soft touch for me. And my biggest fears around, I won't lie, I'll be 100% honest. My biggest fears about Arne Slot coming in was that I was just hoping there was going to be no direct similarities to Eric Ten Hag. And I'm just delighted that the book stops at the fact that they're both bald and they're both Dutch. The difference in their mannerisms and their cadence in interviews and how they come across is night and day. You can already see Slot has most of them in the palm of his hand with the way he goes on, and it's genuine enthusiasm for the game, and you can see his style already being implemented. And Slot's not turning around and going, right, give me 3 or 4 players that had a good run with me at firing up because I know these lads are well able to do what I do. He's literally turning around going, I'm giving all of these lads a chance here. I'm not going to go back raiding Feyenoord just because it suits me. Like, I reckon we could have easily got your man Weaver. Honest to God. We could still get your man here Troide, and they could have got your man Minte. And that would have been him going, hey, look, lads, these are the lads I'm bringing in here, so use now that, like, this is how we play. He's not. He's just gone in and said, this is how we play. I trust every single one of you to do it. I'm not going to have to go fucking raiding me old club just so you know what he's doing. It's just, honest to God, like, I'm delighted. I'm just delighted that he's not like him, even in terms of his personality standpoint. Like, he's just fucking, he's drier than toast, Ten Hag, and he's literally the German or the Dutch version of Brendan Rodgers. You can see now the stuff he's coming out with. He's coming out with more shit after the game yesterday. I don't know how Jonas haven't started calling him on it, to be honest with you.
Because the reason being is because Ineos are the best thing since sliced bread, and Ineos have extended his contract, so everyone has to be, pro Ineos. And because if you're not pro Ineos, it means now that you're admitting that the Glazers were actually all right. The Glazers have put these fellas in charge. Everyone wanted it, and now if they're not great, the alternative is the Glazers, who still run the fucking football club. And of course, they're going on now about building a 100,000 seater stadium. Someone says there earlier, and just asking the taxpayers to pay for it. Despite being one of the biggest sport franchises in the world, the taxpayers should pay for Manchester United to play at a stadium, instead of just revamping Old Trafford and paying for themselves like everyone else does. But look, we'll see how they go. They've a charity shield now next weekend, isn't it? They've a charity shield against Man City. And you never, like someone said in the chat there, they get a good result against Man City, it'll all be good again. It was Project 5 a.m. says they beat City next week, it will give them in time again. I agree with you, but I was just watching them, not from a cynical point of view, not from a Liverpool point of view. I was just watching going, I was actually thinking to myself, well, I'm a United fan. And you go into pre-season, right, you want to see fitness, you want minutes, no injuries, that's what you want. But you want to see something that they're trying. Something that's going to get you from that 8th position up to 4th or 3rd, something that's going to get you, whatever. And it's just not there. It's just not there. So we'll see what happens. I think we leave it there. We've covered loads of stuff. Is there anything else before we go?
No, all good. Expected to get a little bit hairy this week in the transfer market. I think it's going to pick up. I think it has to pick up, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you think we'll be doing a transfer show this week, Shani?
Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully. I think, to be honest with you, Gav, and you know me, I tried to stay as calm as possible for as long as possible. But we need to see movement this week. We one way or another, we need to see movement. Because time is ticking, and I don't expect any player brought in the next 2 weeks to feature massively before the international break anyway. But we do really need to start nailing down our targets. So yeah, I can see it getting a little bit spicier, definitely, in the market.
Yeah. Couple of things before we go. Our fundraiser, our link there for our charities is in the description, right? If you want to donate, please do. The links are there. The link is also there for Phil's one, for Laura Lynn. So if you want to donate a tenner, give us a £5 each. If you want, whatever you want to do. The link is in the description there if you want to donate to us. Please do. It's for fan supporting food banks, and it's for the Lighthouse. Both two very, very good charities to look after people that are struggling, and you know what the struggles are like nowadays. So if you can help us out, that's absolutely brilliant. Phil is going to be running a Premier League, one of these Premier Fancy League things, right? That you're all into. It's not my cup of tea, but he's running one. I have the details there, but I'm going to wait until I get the actual proper finalised ones because I don't want to tell you his lies. But basically, what's going to happen is he's going to send out the code. He's going to send out the name of the league. It's €20 to enter. Okay, out of that €20, €10 goes towards the prize pot, and €10 goes to charity. So if we get 100 people in there, it'll be €1,000 for charity, and it'll be €1,000. It's a winner takes all fancy football that he's setting up. So if you can help with that, that'd be absolutely amazing. I will get the absolute final details on it though and get it to you ASAP because he has sent me a code and sent me the league name, but I think it's through Revolut you pay. So we'll have to just make sure everything's spot on before people go and do it. So keep that in mind. It's €20, but every €20 that's given, €10 of it is going to charity. So we're hoping to build Phil's one for Laura Lynn up. And if you can build theirs up by donating, please do. If you can't find, no problem, send your link around to your family, your friends, your work colleagues, wherever it might be, and your WhatsApp groups, wherever it might be. And just send it in there. It's for two good charities. And if, like I said, if everyone watching now put in €1 or put in €2 or €5, bleeding, be amazing. But if everyone watching throughout the week on this channel put in €1 every time you watched, we clear the 10 grand in no time. And we're really going to push it again because, like I said, we won't stop until we get to the 10 grand. And that's what I wanted to say on that. The rest of the week, yeah, we'll probably do some transfer stuff. We'll come on, we'll have a bit of crack as well. Because look, if there's no transfer stuff, come on, why can't we just come on and have a bit of crack as well? We will do that as well. We should see Keith sometime during the week. We might see Seany. But I think Emmett's going on holiday. We will see, we should see, we're trying to get Matt sorted because he's living like in the middle of nowhere now. He has no internet. Where you should see Kev, you should see Chris, you should see Ashley, and a few more bodies that we're trying to get back in that were with us last season that we want to get back in as we run into the new seasons. They were all popular, and we gave them the summer off, but we're going to hammer at the doors now to see if we can get them back on. Seany, thanks a million. That was a nice Sunday night. We done well as well. 1 hour and 2 minutes, Seany. I'm very, very proud of that.
Yeah, very, very efficient.
Yeah, it's them other two pricks that hold us back, I think.
It's not. I think, do you know what it is? I think it's when other channels will probably have you believing that this Salah fella is the second coming of Javier.
It's on Wikipedia there, he's signed, but it's not. Short number 22 it's down as well. It's so good.
Whereas we just turn around and say, Salah, or love an hour, Lord and Salah, voice frame, that's about it. Like, that's about it.
Is he anything to Ambre Salah, is he?
If you're coming here for making up charts and making up players, you're just not gonna get it. And if you do know anything about Salah, keep it to yourself, because I don't give a bollocks.
update the Wikipedia for us there, because I'll be watching it.
Throw it on you,
Throw it on there. What's his favourite packet of crisps, stuff like that.
What's his favourite humming noise?
Yeah. Robert said, if that's the best footage Liverpool could find of Gomez and Trent in training today, there could be trouble. Look, there's just lads going into work. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. What will be, will be. That has been Seany, that has been Gav, that has been the Talkin Kop. We talk to you all very soon. Over and out.